Hi everyone, my name is Sammy Finkenthal, and today I will be talking about surrealism, where realities and dreams collide. As someone who has always been intrigued by the mix of dreams and reality, surrealism has been a huge inspiration for me, and I wanted to share that inspiration with you guys. First, I just wanted to give a little introduction about what surrealism is. It's an art movement from the early to mid 20th century, and it turned everything we thought about reality and art upside down. At its core, Andre Breton's Manifest Surrealism in 1924 set the stage for a total art revolution. Next, I want to emphasize the transformation. Picture a world where artists question what real even means. Surrealism wasn't just about changing art, it was changing how we saw the world. Breton's manifesto had a big impact on this. To get surrealism, let's start at the beginning with Andre Breton's mind-blowing manifesto. First, I want to talk about my thesis statement. So my big idea today is that surrealism, with its focus on dreams, symbols, and wild artistic techniques, didn't shake things up. It totally redefined how we see reality and imagination in art. We're going to unpack this by looking at the unconscious mind, dream language, and the crazy techniques that smashed artistic rules. My bold claim, what I want you guys to get at the end of this presentation, is to see that surrealism wasn't just a cool art trend, but it was a revolution that completely changed how we think about art. Now I want to travel back in time where surrealism came from. First, I want to begin talking about turbulent times. Before surrealism, the world was recovering from World War I, and Freud's psychoanalysis was everywhere. It was a time of chaos and confusion. To really get what surrealism about, we've got to imagine the world that gave birth to it. Surrealism didn't just pop out of nowhere. It was a reaction to the wild events of the early 20th century. It was the aftermath of World War I, and the rise of psychoanalysis created the perfect storm. As art history buffs say, Apollinaire probably coined the term surrealist around 1970, but Breton was the leading bunch of artists under that banner. World War I had a big impact on this. World War I left everyone feeling lost, and surrealists wanted to make sense of that confusion through art. Apollinaire and Breton had a big impact on this. Picture Apollinaire and Breton as the cool art leaders, coining the term surrealist and bringing artists together under this new banner. Next, I want to talk about the origin of surrealism. Andre Breton, the French writer who kicked off surrealism in the 1920s, Breton gathered intellectuals and remains of Dada and created a whole new movement called surrealism. The ideas landed in Breton's first manifesto of surrealism in 1924. His leadership was pretty good, so imagine in 1920s Paris, where Andre Breton, this poetic visionary, gathered smart people and birthed surrealism from the remains of Dada. The manifesto had a big significance. Breton's first manifesto in 1924 wasn't just words, it was a rebel yell and a call to explore the uncharted territories of the mind. Next, I want to dive into some cool tricks surrealists use to mess with reality. First, I want to talk about revolutionary techniques. Surrealists didn't just paint, they were art rebels. They came up with techniques that tapped into the deepest corners of the mind, tapping into the unconscious. We're about to explore surrealist techniques weren't just about painting, they're about diving into the mysteries of the unconscious mind. Surrealists brought in crazy techniques like automatic writing and collaborative creation, all aimed at unlocking the unconscious mind. Salvador Dali, the persistent of memory, is a wild example. Automatic writing is, for example, imagining a pen going wild on paper with no control. The magic of automatic writing revealing the artist's unfiltered thoughts. Dali's masterpiece also had an influence on some techniques. Now I want to talk about the exploration of dreams in the unconscious. Imagine this. Surrealists were totally hooked on dreams in the mysterious unconscious mind. Artists like Rene Magritte and Max Ernst weren't just painting dreams. They were diving into the weirdness of our minds. So let's peel back the layers and get into dreamy stuff. Dreams were used as an inspiration. Surrealists were like dream detectives, exploring the wild world inside of our heads. They didn't just slap dreams onto the canvas, they brought them to life. Symbolism also had a big part in this. Now let's picture us as detectives too, peeling back the layers of symbolism in the works of Rene and Max Ernst. Reality gets fuzzy and imagination takes off like a rocket. Surrealism wasn't just an art. It was a wild roller coaster flipping on reality on its head. Joan Mirau's The Harklands Carnival in the heart-stop writing of this whole thing. First, I want to talk about revolutionizing reality. Think of surrealism as a friend who challenges you to see the world in a whole new way. It's not about showing the world as it is. It's about making you think how crazy and cool it could be. Miro's puzzling carnival also had an impact in it. Now let's break this down. It's like a carnival where everything you thought about reality becomes a puzzle of craziness. Figures are all twisted, colors are bursting, and shapes are something out of a dream. It's like a reality took a vacation. The big picture of surrealism didn't just change art, it was a creativity bomb that exploded in everything. Literature, movies, fashion, you name it. This wasn't just brushstrokes on canvas, it was like dropping a bomb. Surrealism wasn't just an art club, it was a big deal that echoed through everything creative. Surrealism wasn't chilling only in the museums. It snuck into books, movies, and fashion, like I mentioned before. It was a cool way that still ripples throughout creative seas currently today. So wrapping up, surrealism was a game changer. From the crazy aftermath of World War I to Breton's Manifesto and the mind-bending techniques, its story reshaped how we think about creativity. To summarize some key points, surrealism wasn't just about paint on a canvas. It was a journey from chaos to creativity, rewriting the rules of creative game. To reinforce my thesis statement, surrealism wasn't just a challenging art rules, it was smashing them to bits, paving the way for a whole new era of limitless creativity. It was like opening a door to a room full of endless possibilities. So from this presentation, I want you guys to get that surrealism became the reality of which we navigate, and to remember the power of creativity, and that surrealism isn't just an art, but it's a whole revolution. And here is all my work cited.